Welcome to the 7th class of Arthur's Geography class, revision IB class. Today we're going to be looking at option D, hazards and disasters, and the fifth part of the option, which is adjustments and responses to hazards and disasters, which the question states, describe strategies designed to limit the damage from potential hazard events and disasters. So we're going to be looking at three structures that help prevent to limit the damage of disasters, of hazards and disasters. So the first one I'm going to be looking at is the structure of the skyscrapers in Japan, which they are made in a fashion so that during an earthquake, which Japan is very prone to since they're being right on the edge of the continental plate, the Ring of Fire, Japan constructed their skyscrapers so that they were able to sway. And Japan, especially places like Tokyo, there's a huge abundance of skyscrapers. And it'll be a disaster if each time there's a major earthquake, all these skyscrapers were to collapse. Huge, disaster for socially, lives lost, and also economically in order to build them or fix the city. So what they do is they construct it using flexible steel. So steel that's able to sway, able to bend easily, but still sturdy, so it doesn't snap or doesn't bend too much. At the bottom of the structure, well, the foundation of the structure is constructed in the bedrock, so deep within the soil. Not in the soil, beneath the soil, so deep into the ground, so that the skyscraper has a sturdy structure, so it doesn't tip over or fall over. And on the base of the structure of the skyscraper, there is rubber shock absorbers, so that prevents the building from, so it absorbs the shock of the earthquake. This is right in the foundation of the building. The skyscraper has a bird cage interlocking steel frame, so that none of the steel parts are to dismantle during an earthquake, so it could still maintain its structure. And this even dates back all the way to ancient Japan, where even their temples, which were made of wood, used to sway, and and this prevented a huge amount of damage for when there was earthquakes. Hence, there's still a lot of ancient Japanese structures lying about. Second form is a bit more common, is found a bit near to us, which is stilts which are used to raise houses, and these are usually found in areas which are prone to flooding or water exposure, a lot of water exposure. So this could be usually in the swamps or at the beach, where there's high tide goes up and all the water goes down, goes to your house. However, the stilted structure actually raises the house off the ground, so that when the water passes, it does not hit the house at all. It goes underneath the house. So it's quite simple, it's just a bunch of wooden planks. The house is usually raised off with wood, and so it's legitimately raised off the ground. So when the high tide comes, or if there's a storm, all the water will just go right underneath the building. So this prevents a lot of damage to the house. Lastly, we're going to be looking at levees and seawalls. They both have a very similar purpose, but they're a bit different. Levees are basically mounds, which are to prevent water. They're still like barricade walls, but they're kind of like mound shape. Prevents water from going in. So kind of like a hill, small hill, so the water doesn't go over it. While seawalls are basically big walls, usually very big walls, which block off the sea from the rest of the land. So usually it could either be like a legitimate wall, but usually it's like land, but then after it drops off to the beach and the sea. So yeah, so the seawall, these are found in areas which are prone to storms, which include hurricane or even tropical storms, so that the water, and these usually near the sea or the ocean where hurricanes usually occur, is to prevent a lot of the water from going into the land. And if it goes into the land, it might flood the whole city. So it's usually protected for storms, which storms are usually the cause of the water rising into the land in such areas. Hope you've learned something today, and see you on week 8.